Turn up the volume and listen in. It's time for breakfast with Life Radio. Only Life Radio could make breakfast sound this good.
I'm just sitting here. I got time.
Hi, Rob McGowan. We're here with Life Radio. I'm here with Allison MacKenzie today. She's running for an important position to help make a difference in our community for the MP. So what got you involved and got you started?
An interest. I've always been interested in politics and doing better for our community. Studied politics at St. Thomas University. I was even involved in student counseling in middle school and active in a political party in high school. Worked on many campaigns and just had a lot of great role models over the years. And
Good. Was your family at all involved?
my mother was a strong conservative. My dad was a little less vocal on his stance, which made it easier for me to find where I fitted in. And being a reputable people brought up. I mean, I have 8 sisters. So back in high school, I was intrigued by Frank McKenna back in the late 80s. And it's just continue to be a passion and a desire and an interest to see what's changing and what's been going on over the years.
Okay, and so before you got into running for MP, were you on boards of any kind, or did you involved in any things in the community?
Politics?
No, just any kind of boards or school boards, things like that.
Yeah, I've been involved for many years since my children were in elementary school with PSSC and the Home and School Association local, district and provincial levels in creating policies and continuing to work and improve for the young and youth and working together for betterment of our children and our parents.
Awesome. Well, you can't go wrong with that.
No, it's been wonderful.
So, how do you find, since getting into politics, it can be pretty daunting. You know, people will say stuff against you or for you and whatever, and, you know, you'll get attacked. It's just all part of the whole charade of the whole thing. So how have you felt that spiritually? Has it felt, you know?
Rob, it's been humbling, truly been humbling. There's always going to be the negative. There's always good with the bad and bad with the good. But I just try to always be positive, and I always try to continue to embrace the positivity at the times of positive, because there's so many people that are sharing with me the difficulties and the challenges that they are facing every day. And spiritually, I've overcome many obstacles in my life, physical, mental, emotional struggles of brain injury from 20 years back. That I know without my spirituality, I would not be here today. And without knowing that there's a path that I'm on and that I'm still continuing to follow what's meant to be and where I'm supposed to be. And I, with no doubt, am certain that this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, Rob, for the people here in my riding and by the people here. So it's been humbling.
So you've had a lot of support, a lot of volunteers coming out to help you, or getting involved?
So the support's been tremendous. As you know, 6 months ago, I had been nominated and worked tremendously hard and got to know so many people and so much support in every end of this riding, and it just continued. It's unfortunate, like you say, there's always the good with the bad. The distastefulness wasn't just rested upon myself. It was with a lot of other people, and the divisiveness that one event can create and can cause, it's unfortunate. But I'm just continuing to be grateful and humbled that I know I'm still the person that always was and always will be, and I'll continue to be positive about and feel grateful and respect one another is what I'll continue to work on.
That's one thing I've noticed. I've interviewed all the candidates running, and they all seem like good people, nice. They're all nice. They all talk nice things about each other, so I'm glad about that. We're not getting anybody running anybody down, so that's good. So now we got to get into the nitty-gritty of the whole thing. So as MP, there's all kinds of issues our city faces. We're having great growth, with jobs that have been created here, and Hay Center and all the different spin-offs from that and everything. On every window, though, there's a help wanted sign, so we need people filling those jobs. So it also creates other issues. We have a limited amount of housing. Mm-hmm. So what is your ideas about housing and how we'll move forward on that to try and fix those issues, because they're connected to a lot of other issues.
And I hear that a lot. There's a lot of people with shortage of housing in this riding. It's going to increase and get worse. I have faith in the MLAs that are here in this riding and on the other ridings outside. There's 5 MLAs with 4 different parties. And we have a mayor and council and rural areas as well as not just in the city that are it's come to they brought to my attention. It's a huge issue, and the federal government, I as their MP, can implement and bring more funding. And I know that some other parties are offering additional funding for housing. It's a necessity in this riding. So what's a necessity in this riding is going to be a necessity for me to work for and to continue to bring the funding and work with whatever party is going to benefit this riding.
Oh, awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, for the housing and bringing housing, that's great too. It also, when I was talking with Paul Fiander not too long ago, we had him on and I said, well, economics have gone up, people are doing better. So does that mean, our crime has gone down? Unfortunately, he said it hasn't. We have a problem with a drug issue in our society here that's starting to creep up and slowly on the fringes happen. And as a city, I talk to the mayor all the time and different people, and they got plans going on. How do you feel you would work with the city towards these kind of issues and making sure we have programs and things to help the issues, make sure everybody doesn't fall through the cracks as we move up?
Yeah, there is definitely an increase in the drug use and in the methamphetamines. There's definitely an increase in crime. A lot of people coming into my office discussing those concerns, and door to door, people are scared as well. They're being breaking and enters going on in on their properties, and it's a rise. It's a huge concern. It's not just in this riding; it's all across Canada. But absolutely, what I can do, and we'll work to implement strategies and improving more funding for mental health. If you don't have a healthy mind, you don't have a healthy body. So we are struggling as well with more mental health issues in the riding. So more funding for mental health, more funding for, when I look at the whole picture and the people, what they're suggesting is we need to continue to enforce the laws that are behind our law enforcement and to be behind them. Their hands are tied with laws that are taking place, and they can only do so much because of laws. And where do you draw the line? More funding. I know in your interview or John's interview with Chief Fiander, having a community officer working with the community again. There's lots of wonderful ideas, and continuing to move forward and being hands-on with those issues from the start in high school or middle school, and continuing to be involved. We have a wonderful police force here, and just staying engaged and trying to keep the drugs, and people being aware and being engaged and notifying people and to not to be scared to call and give the tips that they know that are out there. And
okay, that's a good answer. We're moving into another topic. We're one sort of closer to my heart is education. We work a lot at Life Radio with different education programs trying to help out, because we feel education is the key to everything. But there's been all kinds of provincial programs, federal programs. Even personally, I know people who provincially were being helped in university at lower income to be able to have our kids go through university and stay here and not be debt-ridden. Those programs were scrapped recently. But as a federal government, do you have ideas of how you can help provincially?
For help provincially?
Yeah, like with education, what are your ideas to push forward as a party and getting in our area and stuff like that?
Well,
what would you like to see?
Yeah, I'm a federal
Yes.
level. So I mean, I will be working provincially with the provincial MLAs that are elected
Right.
on files that they as well feel that are detrimental or need to push forward for reform or for different policies to change and to work for the betterment of the people here in this riding. Education, there's a lot of things that have been come to me from people out there, from students that are heavily debt after finishing universities and courses, that there's stress and they don't have the job that's going to continue to leave them with enough finances for housing and to survive. It's become a challenge, and it's been very stressful on a lot of students, to the point that it's creating a mental health issue for a lot of students. And it's unfortunate because they've invested themselves and their time and money into a better future for themselves and for our province and our community. So my place with the federal government would be, of course, to work with the party or the policies that's going to be best for the students and the education system here. As an independent candidate, I don't work with just one party. I work with them all, and it's going to be for the betterment of everybody here in this riding, and what they want me to work for, right? It's not what I think, it's what the people in the riding want. And from what I'm hearing, they want changes. They want a less amount paid back. They want more money to help them to get through, and they don't want to be stuck with such a huge debt. They don't want to be leaving the province for jobs. They want to be treated as well with contracts and full-time employment to move forward, and they just want to feel like they can stay here and continue to be part of their own communities instead of having to flourish off to another province or another country. Sad.
So on that note, we'll move into job creation. That's an important thing. So when they finish their universities here, how do you feel the best way we can move forward in creating jobs in the Miramichi, keep growing our job numbers?
Well, investing, of course, is the biggest thing. I hear every day from people is that we're paying too much tax. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Allison.
Okay, no, I'm
No,
great.
you're good.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you, dear. Good coffee, eh?
Oh yeah. I drink a lot of coffee over the day. I'm always doing interviews and talking to people.
That's wonderful. That's how people get to find out what's going on.
Yeah, well, that's one of the goals of Life Radio. When I started this program of interviewing people, is to people can tune in and find out what's happening in our city and the people that are making the changes. So that's why I have you on and just say, what is it you'd like to do, and people can make their choices based on what you think and how you feel.
And it's wonderful. And I thank you too, Rob, for having me. It's not easy as an independent candidate moving forward and having the advertising or the money to run a huge campaign, as some of the larger parties are doing.
Sure.
But boys, it's been very humbling and gratifying to have so many wonderful people that support me, and continuing to come in with donations and volunteering and having the faith in me as their candidate moving forward.
Great. So you're getting lots of support from your community and your family. How's your family taking it? That's another question.
No, my husband has been remarkable. He's always had my back. He's my rock. My kids, my daughter, my son as well. I worship both of them, and they've been there every minute of the day for me, and sometimes more challenging than others, because I go as much as I can. It's that 24/7, except for the last couple of days I've had some laryngitis. My mom has been my rock and my inspiration for all my life. She's a voice like no other. After raising 8 of us, of course, she's a strong woman. And just the support from my managers and my official agents and community people that go door to door, just say, hey, you got me, you don't have to waste time here, we need a change, you go girl, it's the same old 2 different parties that continue we need the change, and I'm glad you're putting your voice forth, Allison, and glad that it's going to be a minority government, because now I can support you, because with a minority government, and as some might not even know, with a minority government, let's be certain that we have a voice here. We owe it to our children and we owe it to our grandchildren to do better and to not be disillusioned by the politics that bigger parties tend to display.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see.